Hello viewers, welcome to Rectopage Software's YouTube channel Tech and Man. Today we are going to discuss how to create a list view using string array resources. This list view is created using the string array resources, and the ultimate output will be like this. The each element in the string array resource will be converted as one entry in the list view. So I assume that all of you have already created your project on Android Studio. So for creating a list view, we need to modify the string resources. The string files are located under app, res, values, strings. Here we shall define one list view related with the colors. For defining list view related with the colors, we need a list view containing many different color names. For color names, we shall describe the string array. Name of the array I'll give color, and we shall define the entries item. First item red, and second item green, third item blue. Okay, RGB we have defined. One string array in a strings.xml file, and name of this string array is color, and it contains three elements: red, green, and blue. So next step is to generate our user interface file. That user interface file is located under the directory layout. So this is our user interface file, activity underscore main.xml. Here at the left side you can see the XML code related with the right side user interface. So we need to add list view here. For that, you just type a list view, and you have to set the width and height of this list view. I am setting a width of the list view as a match parent and the height of the list view as a match parent, so that it acquires all the space available on its parent. We need to define the entries of this list view. What are the elements to be displayed on this list view? Android colon entries will be at array color. So at the right side you can see red, green, and the blue, whatever we have defined in string.xml as a string array, that entries are taken as the contents of this list view. We need to define one more attribute for this list view is id. Id takes color. Okay, uh, color list, color list. Color list is the idea of this list view. We are done with defining the user interface of this project or a list view. We shall see what will be the output when I run this app on our emulator. So I have already kept emulator running to test our applications on. In case if you have not already started an emulator, start an emulator and test this application. So when I press on this green button at the top, play button, this application will be okay. Here is one error, so don't bother about it. Just try to run it again, so that you can see the desired output on the screen of the emulator. So we have defined three colors: red, green, and blue. So when we click on each of these list entries, we are not able to see any events are getting handled. So what if when I want to press on red, something should happen? When we press on green, something else should happen. When we press on blue, some other thing should happen. For doing that, we need to define on list item click listener. On list item click listener, that should be done within the Java directory, the package name, and the activity file. Just open main activity, and here we are going to write the code corresponding to handle the events on user interface. So for handling the user interface properties, we have to implement one interface on list item click listener, on item click listener. So it is asking you to implement some of the methods which are inside this adapter view dot on item click listener. So click on this and hit alt enter on the error, then it will ask you to implement methods. Implement the methods. We have generated the new method here on item click. This function, this method will be called whenever we press the list items on our user interface. So for that, at the beginning we need to register our list view to this on click listener. For that we need to define list view LV. So we need to assign this variable LV list view variable to the list view defined in the XML file r dot id dot color list. So we have defined it. So once it is defined, we need to register this list view to lv dot set item click listener of this. So we have set on item click listener of this list view whatever the on item click listener defined in this class. So here when we press on this list item, each of the list item, this on item click function will be called. For a testing purpose, we try to add one toast message, make text get application context list item is one of the list item is selected, toast dot length long dot show. So now we shall try to see our application running. If I run that application on our emulator, here is the desired output. So when we click on each of our list item contents, it should show one black color toast message on the screen by the content one of the list item is selected. So if I press on it, see here now we are able to handle the events appearing on the list view. When I press the screen, one of the list item is selected. What if I want to specifically handle the on click on red, green, blue? If I press on red, something related to red should happen. When I press on green, something related to green should happen. When I press on blue, something else should happen. So in this case, we are not distinguishing between red, green and the blue buttons, but here we can further distinguish between these three list items. For doing that, we need to obtain the name of the name on the button. So to obtain the name on the button, we are defining one string variable string string adapter view dot get item at position I. So we in this name variable we store the name on that list item. So we can directly if name dot equals, these are the string comparison function available in Java, right? Do something here. If else if it is name dot equals green, so do something here. Else if name dot equals blue, do something else here, and by default else case. So when you press on the red list item, this part of the code will be executed. When you press on the green, this part of the code will be executed. When you press on the blue list item, this part of the code will be executed. To make it sure to see the output, we shall produce a toast message whenever we are pressing on each of these list views, list items. So here let me change red item is selected. The second one is green item is selected, and the third one is blue item is selected. Blue item is selected. So let me save this and try to run this application on the emulator to see the corresponding output. So our application has been executed successfully, and we are able to see the output on the screen here: red, green, and the blue. What we are expecting now, we are expecting that when you press on the red, the function specifically associated with red should happen, and as well as green and blue. So red item red is selected. So you can see it is not generic. This is specific to different list items. So this is it. This is how to create the list view in Android Studio using a string array resources. So if you like our video, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel Tech and Man. You can expect many of these kind of videos coming up in near future. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your time. See you soon.